Freshman doubleheader tomorrow because I don't know how much we should be left for it, but I nearly lost it on that play. Oh man, what a wild turn of events there. And this would be a heartbreak for Harrison, though. Coming off, an 8-game winning streak coming into tonight, their only loss in the home opener at Lucas Oil Stadium, 27-14 to cross-county rival West Lafayette, currently the #1 ranked team in Class 3A. So Cameron Grimes hit his first 16 extra points on the season, then missed his next 4. Now he's made his last 10. So, like Plainfield himself, he's been both up and down the season, but thank God right now up. And now it's the kickoff taken down to the 5, and he brings it up to about the 15. So now the Raiders trailing for only the second time in this game, and the first time since early in the second quarter. 4:16 to go. They still have all 3 timeouts. So the 2 lost fumbles end up being very costly for the Raiders here. Well, Brian Woodard just might have one more game left, or more. And now a screen pass, and now it's up for, and now he picks about 13 there, and that was Ferguson there. So Harrison not rolling over. A screen pass for gave us 13 yards there. Henderson, 6 of 10 passes now. Only 97 yards, but 3 touchdowns. That was Ferguson's second reception. First for 3 yards, that was for 13. So 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 40, trailing by 7, 3:50 to go in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs. And now they pressure the quarterback, and we got a first down and fumbled, and it's a loose ball. Does Plainfield have it? Does Plainfield have it? Yes! Plainfield takes over. The 3rd last fumble by Harrison in the fourth quarter. Plainfield with a 7-point lead, 3:39 to go. Oh my God! I think we're gonna do it. Don't go anywhere yet. But this is ours to lose now. Oh my God. Plainfield has not won a playoff game since 2016 when we got a 24-8 win at Arsenal Tech in downtown Indianapolis. And now Plainfield, and we got the play whistle dead. 3:37 to go. Harrison still does have all 3 timeouts left, so we're going to have to get some first downs. But the main thing is just don't screw it up. Offsides against the Quakers, so the ball will move back to their own 48. Anyway, Plainfield in the first round that year they beat Arsenal Tech 24-8. Then they came back home, lost to Zionsville by a score of 33-28. The game ended, I think we had it at the 12 if I remember correctly. Gavin Ritter, our star senior wide receiver, was injured on the last drive. He watched the last play from the sideline, Ben Slayton threw into a crowd of about 10 people. It was, I think, about 5 seconds. It seemed like a lot longer before the referee signaled incomplete. So 3 receivers to the left now. And now the throw up the middle. It is caught. and it's to Isaiah Miller, and he picks up about 10. So the clock keeps running. Isaiah Miller's quietly had a very good second half of the season. He is a junior. He should be one of our lead receivers next year. He picks up 9 there. Hunter Newell, I have completed 13 of 16 passes, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, all to Grant Irwin, no interceptions. 3 minutes to go in counting, 2nd and 6. So now fake handoff, throws, and he's got the first down inside the 35. All right. So now Harrison is just. So Grant Irwin, his 4th catch of the game. The first set did not go for a touchdown, but it did go for a very important first down. And now with 2:41 to go in the game, Harrison has just taken his first timeout, and that's what our strategy's got to be now. Just make them use up all their timeouts. Well, for those of you just joining us, Plainfield, they're not quite. They haven't clinched it yet, but they're on their way there. With 2:41 to go in the game, Plainfield leads 35-28. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the Harrison 33. Harrison just used its first timeout. Plainfield. I'm sorry, I'm just so scattered with all the wild ride of emotions of this game. But Plainfield. It looks like they're going to win. Hand off to Noah Hessling, and he breaks through, and he's got a first down. So that's about a 12 or 13-yard gain. And now we just got to make Harrison use up the rest of their timeouts, and then we can just put the game into deep freeze. Hessling is 17th carry. Yards now on that play, 1st and 10 at the 21. Harrison not using a timeout right now. So now we just got to do some very conservative running plays. And now Hessling, he goes up the middle now over the left, and he stays in bounds, gets up about 2 or 3. 2 minutes to go now, no 2-minute warning, so the clock keeps on ticking. 1:55 to go. Give Hessling 3 that moves him to an even 100 yards by my count on 18 carries. 1:46 to go. Plainfield with a 7-point lead, trying to close it out here. Harrison still with 2 timeouts. As long as we don't screw it up, this one's ours, and we're going to return home for the sectional championship next week. 8 on the play clock. And now the Newell snap gives it to Hessling again. And now he's stopped right around the line of scrimmage. And I think Harrison's just going to have to take a timeout here, and they do, with 1:16 to go. Well, at the half, when we were tied at 14, I said that I guaranteed a Plainfield win if we had no turnovers, and we fulfilled that part of it. And if we gave up no 3rd and longs, we gave up 2, and both of them, Harrison scored a touchdown on that play. But Harrison committed 3 turnovers over their own, 3 lost fumbles, 1 returned for a touchdown, and that's the difference here. By the way, Hessling picked up 1 yard on that last play, so it's 3rd and 6. Now, I imagine what we'll do now is just do a very conservative running play, make Harrison use the last timeout. And then, they would be looking at getting the ball back with, about a minute to go and no timeouts, having to go about 80 yards or so. They line up 2 receivers to each side. I hope they don't pass. And if they do, they better complete it and stay in bounds or score a touchdown. Low snap, but he gets it over to Hessling, and he gets up for about 3 or 4. He's going to be short of the first down, and Harrison, I assume, will take their last timeout. They do. So with 1:11 to go, it'll be 4th and short for the Quakers. And they lead by 7. Trying to close out this playoff game. 9:48 your time of day. Okay, Hessling got 5 on that play. So if we just get a 1 yard here, then we can kneel out the rest of the clock. Okay, 4th and 2, excuse me. 4th and 2 now at, let's see where the, it looks like 4th and 2 at about the 14 here, or the 13 it says now on the scoreboard. 4th and 2 at the 13. Looks like we got an injured player here. I can't tell who it is from my vantage point. He's being surrounded by personnel. But anyway, so Plainfield, when we resume play with 1:11 to go in the game, Plainfield leading by 7. We have the ball 4th and 2 at the Harrison 13. If we get the first down, we can kneel out the clock. If not, the Raiders will take over on downs with a little over a minute to go and no timeouts. If Plainfield hangs on for the win, we will host the sectional championship next week, regardless of who wins the Decatur Central McCutcheon game. So the injured Raider coming off the field, walking off groggily with a little assistance. I couldn't catch who he was. I couldn't catch his number. Sorry. So anyway, 1:11 to go in the game now. Fourth and 2, Plainfield. Hands off to Hessling. Did he get the first down? It's going to be close. I think he got it. He got the first down, so the Quakers will win. Plainfield will get its first playoff win in 6 years. They avenged a week 2 loss. They lost by 8 here back in week 2. They will win by 7 tonight. Noah Hesson gained 5 on that last play. He only needed 2. He gained 5. He's in my opinion, one of the big 3 tonight, along with Hunter Newell and Grant Irwin. I would give Irwin the game ball. Sat into a great season for the Raiders. They lost their first game. Then they won their next 8 to close out the regular season, but they lose their first playoff game. And now Newell takes one final kneel down, and that will do it. So your Plainfield Quakers threatened to give the game away, but in the end, Harrison gives it to them, and the Quakers don't give it back. So the Quakers get their first playoff win in 6 years. They advance to the sectional championship a week from tonight against Decatur Central or McCutcheon. We will talk about that and recap after these final words from our sponsors here on AudioSportsOnline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football here on AudioSportsOnline.com would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we encourage you to support them. They are CCV Contracting, Geodis, Ganell Financial, Julia Berberich, Remax Centerstone Plainfield, Kyle Birdfield, Mortgage Lender, Flagstar Bank, Team Purely Fairway Mortgage, Bailey & Wood Financial Group, African Plum Home, My IT Indy at myITindy.com, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, The Beacon Sign Company, Jeff Brown Photography, Karen Alexander Photography, and Whitlow's Towing. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Tippecanoe County for a final time tonight, where your Plainfield Quakers have won a very wild and crazy game, beating the host Harrison Raiders in the first round of the playoffs, avenging a Week 2 loss. They beat us here 9 weeks ago by a score of 22-14. We turned the tables tonight, beat them by an almost identical margin, 35-28. It's a game that was up and down all the way. Each team made a lot of big plays. Each team also threatened to give it away. But in the end, Plainfield rose to the occasion when it counted and got out of here with the win. Plainfield got the opening kickoff, fumbled it, and Harrison took over at the 30. Then on their first possession, Ben Henderson threw 8 yards to Nick Shrimp for a touchdown. Alex Stinn was good on the extra point, making it 7-0. However, Plainfield on the ensuing drive struck back. Troy Larison returned the kickoff up to the 40, to the Plainfield 40, and then later on the drive, Hunter Newell threw 48 yards to Grant Irwin for a touchdown. Cameron Grimes was good on the extra point, tying it at 7. Then after the Raiders turned it over on downs at the Plainfield 44, Plainfield scored on the ensuing possession on a 2-yard touchdown rush by Hunter Newell. Grimes was good on the extra point, making it 14-7. However, the Raiders struck back quickly with 10:45 to go in the second quarter on a 44-yard touchdown pass from Ben Henderson to Carter Canoy. Stinn's extra point made it 14-14, and then there was no scoring for more than a quarter's worth of action. Harrison got the ball first to start the second quarter, and by the way, it should be noted that at the half, I guaranteed a Plainfield win if the Quakers A, committed no turnovers, and then B, gave up no third and longs. Well, that prediction seems to go out the window when with 10:34 to go in the third quarter, on 3rd and 13, Carter Canoy rushed around the left side 68 yards for a touchdown, giving the Raiders the lead back. Stinn's extra point made it 21-14. However, with 47.8 seconds to go in the third quarter, Newell and Irwin connected for a touchdown for the second time in the game, this time for 39 yards. And Grimes tied it at 21 with his extra point. The Raiders struck right back with 8:15 to go in the fourth quarter when Henderson threw to Brendan Gothrop on 3rd and 9. When Henderson completed a 17-yard touchdown pass to Brendan Gothrop on 3rd and 9. Stinn's extra point made it 28-14. However, Newell came right back and scored on. However, the Plainfield came right back, and on the next possession scored with 6:49 to go on a 39-yard touchdown pass from Newell to Irwin on 4th and 18. So avenging the 2 third and longs for touchdowns that we'd given up to Harrison earlier in the half. And then on Harrison's ensuing drive, after they drove just past the midfield, a fumble was returned by Harrison Herbeck for the touchdown. Grimes was good on the extra point, making it 35-28. And then the Raiders lost a fumble on their ensuing possession, and then Plainfield ran out the rest of the clock. Look at the individual statistics. First of all, for Plainfield, Hunter Newell completed 13 of 16 passes for 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. His leading receiver was Grant Irwin, who had 4 receptions for 137 yards and 3 touchdowns. So 3 of his 4 receptions went for touchdowns. And then Isaiah Miller had 3 receptions for 27 yards. Noah Hessick 2 for 34. Chris Stevens 2 for 15. Cale Vanderbush 2 for 9, and Troy Larison 1 for 2 on the ground. Noah Hesing led the way with 21 rushes for 111 yards. Hunter Newell had 11 for 22 and a touchdown, and Troy Larison had 1 for 8. For Harrison, Ben Henderson completed 6 of 10 passes for 97 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His leading receiver was Carter Canoy with 2 receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown. Carter Ferguson had 2 receptions for 16 yards. Nick Shrimp had 1 for 8 and a touchdown. And Brendan Gothrop had 1 for 17 and a touchdown. On the ground, Henderson led the way with 8 rushes for 72 yards, including a 42-yarder. Carter Ferguson, 9 for 58. Ethan Pop, 1 for 50. Carter Canoy, 6 for 76 and a touchdown. And Carter McDonald, 1 for 2. So in conclusion, this is a game in which Plainfield, they gave up a few big plays. There was the fumble on the opening kickoff, and then giving up the 44-yard touchdown pass from Henderson to Canoy, and then giving up the 2 touchdowns on 3rd and long, 1 on 3rd and 13, and then 1 on 3rd and 9 in the second half. The 68-yard it was the 68-yard rush by Canoy on 3rd and 13, and then the 17-yard pass from Henderson to Gothrop on 3rd and 9. But at the same time, Harrison shot himself in the foot. There was a turnover on downs in the first half, and then the 3 lost fumbles in the second half. One of which was converted. One of which was returned by Plainfield for a touchdown. And so, it was not a perfect performance by Plainfield, but Harrison, seemed to roughly match Plainfield in mental mistakes, and Plainfield just made a couple more big plays tonight. And certainly it's refreshing that after, basically the Raiders shut us down on offense for 3 quarters just 9 weeks ago, that we moved the ball well for almost the entire game tonight. And the main thing is that we did not turn the ball over. So basically we were just we did not play a perfect game, but we played a very good game. And Harrison deserved that win against us 9 weeks ago today. I think we deserve this win tonight. They were a little better, then we were a little better 9 weeks later. And so Plainfield breaks a streak of 5 consecutive first-round playoff losses. I was behind the mic for their last playoff win 6 years ago at Arsenal Tech in downtown Indianapolis. That was a 24-8 win. That was a game that we went expecting to win. We were 5-4. Arsenal Tech was 2-7. Like IPS schools generally do, they struggled. And so anyway, now we return home next week for the sectional championship. Hold on. Does anybody know? Okay, Decatur Central won over McCutcheon 31-13. So we will have a rematch with Decatur Central next week. Tonight we avenged a loss earlier this season at Harrison. Next weekend, Decatur Central is going to want to avenge that loss they got to us in overtime back in week 6. So we better be ready for them. That game ended a 13-game losing streak that we had against the that game ended a 13-game losing streak that we had against the Hawks. And so anyway, the era of Coach Brian Woodard lasts at least one more game, hopefully more. But he advances to the sectional championship game for the 7th time in his 17 seasons. He advanced there for the first 4 years, then again in 2014, then again in 2016. I commentated the close losses in 2014 to Ron Colley. That was a 24-17 loss. And notably, that and almost avenged a 27-3 loss that we had to Ron Colley earlier in the season when we were all banged up and before Gavin Ritter and Dante Kesey merged to star wide receivers. And then I was behind the mic when we lost 33-28 to Zionsville in a game that we should have won. We bypassed a 37-yard field goal that would have been an easy make for John Hagee early in the game, and then we failed to produce points when we had a first and goal at the Zionsville 2. We ended up with penalties and losses going back to the 30 board, coming away with no points. So we left 10 points on the field, lost by 5. So now Coach Woodard here in his farewell season, his seventh sectional championship game in 17 years. How sweet it would be if they got the sectional championship here in his farewell season, and if they did it at home against his bitter regional rival, against whom we just ended a 13-game losing streak earlier this season. We're supposed to have unseasonably warm weather. We're supposed to have a high of 70 degrees for that day. So I hope you all will get out there. Like I said before, the senior day game against Whiteland. Let's get let's get a fired up crowd there. In case it is Coach Woodard's last game, let's get a fired up group of several thousand Quaker fans to all say thank you to Coach Woodard for his 26 years of outstanding service to this community, this school, and this program. He's been a head coach for 17 years and assistant coach for 9, as well as a biology teacher at Plainfield. I said it before the senior day game against Whiteland, and now I'm saying it again. And by the way, there's a much better chance that next week will be Coach Woodard's last home game. There's always, there's a chance if we win that we'll host a regional game. By the way, if we do go to the regional, it's likely, almost certain that we'll play either Franklin or Whiteland. We would, likely lose against either team, although you never know for sure. That's why you play the game. But in case next week is Coach Woodard's last home game, let's be there to thank him and to cheer him on as he tries to get that elusive sectional here in his farewell season. And it would only, by the way, be the second sectional championship in school history. But, more than anything else, I just want, the kids to go out there. First of all, I want a huge crowd there to cheer on the team and especially Coach Woodard. But besides that, I want to win. I want the team and especially Coach Woodard to get the sectional championship. But more than anything else, I just want us to play the game of our lives, play our A+ game, so that win or lose, even if we lose, we'll be at peace. There'll be no regrets, knowing that we did the best we could, and that we can walk off the field and walk out out of the stadium to end the season with our heads up high. Being proud of the effort that the kids gave, knowing that they did the absolute best they could have. So anyway, if I seem a little scatterbrained tonight, it's all the crazy emotions going on, and I didn't bring it up tonight. I know I mentioned my mother's death on the last broadcast. Her memorial service was Tuesday, so it's been a very emotional week. But what a great way to end the week right now. And, there were several times tonight when I was ready to start reading the eulogy for Coach Woodard's career. Now we'll wait at least one more week, hopefully more, as Plainfield returns home next week to play Decatur Central. We beat them once this year, so we can beat them again. But, we didn't play our best that night. We threatened to give that game away. Fortunately, they were banged up, and they made a few mistakes of their own that we were able to capitalize on. So hopefully next week, last time we beat Decatur Central with our what I estimate was our B- game. Hopefully we'll bring our A+ game next week. So anyway, hope to see you there. Hope we'll set our Red Pride Stadium attendance record. Like, again, we're supposed to have 70-degree weather, very unseasonably warm for early November. And, Plainfield will be playing for only the second sectional championship in school history against our fierce rival. Decatur Central, our regional rivals, just 8 miles away. They'll probably have a huge contingency of fans as well. So let's all get out there. I don't want to see any empty seats. I want to see a lot of Quakers in the standing room too. Let's all go out there, make a lot of noise, say thank you to Coach Woodard, and cheer the kids on to what would be a historic win in program history. So once again, your final score here tonight at Tippecanoe County. Plainfield 35, Harrison 28. The Quakers improved to 5-5, get their second consecutive victory on the season, get their first playoff win in 6 years, and advance to play Decatur Central for the sectional championship next week. Harrison ends an 8-game losing streak and finishes the season at 8-2. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again 1 week from tonight back at Red Pride Stadium as your Plainfield Quakers play the arch-rival Decatur Central, the arch-rival Decatur Central Hawks for the sectional championship. Until then, for AudioSportsOnline.com, this is Lex Zorn reminding you, there is a difference. Only you.